Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is the Blockchain Backer, bringing you the latest cryptocurrency news and analysis. And today we're taking a look at the Ripple XRP price chart. But in this video, I also wanted to take a look around the rest of the market because we're at a really exciting time in cryptocurrencies. Are we in an alt season? Are we going to have two alt seasons? Is Bitcoin going to break out and set a new all-time high today and go flying up into the upside and go to the moon? We have a lot to look at, and it can be really complicated, especially with how much attention the cryptocurrency market is getting right now. There's a lot more people who are taking a look at this asset class for the very first time, and they see these big green candles and they say, hey, I want to be a part of that. And while a lot of us were here before then, and we understand that this market can inflict some serious pain, put you in some serious despair, and well, that's what the cost is in order to get these really big green candles. So I want to take a look around the market. We'll talk about XRP at the same time. But in general, as we head into the holiday and we get ready to sit down with our families, at least here in the United States for Thanksgiving, I figured we can at least have a good mindset before we maybe step away from everything for a couple of days. The first thing we'll do is look over here at XRP. Man, still just an incredible sight to see those big weekly candles that we have there, and that the price starts with a 6. Those who have been through the bear market, we've spent just the last year and a half sitting in the 20s and sometimes down here in the teens. So to be in the 60s, it's just like a big sigh of relief. I was reading over there on Twitter. Sentiment right now is there's a lot of actual fear right now that the price could move back into the 50s or the 40s. For me, it's like, dude, whatever. A year and a half in the 20s, go to the 40s. I don't care. It's not a big deal to me. I see a lot of charting out there, taking a look at this pattern, trying to figure out, is it going to break to the upside? Is it going to break to the downside? It's out there everywhere. We'll just have to see the way this thing plays out. I think the most likely thing is that there's going to be some backtest of supports back down in here. We are pretty overextended. Is there one more wave out of here, right? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? We'll see. It doesn't really matter to me. As you guys know, I'm here for the much bigger targets. I'm shooting for over $10. What the short-term volatility doesn't matter too much to me. I get it. A lot of people care so they can make more entries and add more to their bags. For me, adding to my bags only ever happens when the market is completely fearful. A lot of the people who are coming into this market right now are coming in during the exciting time, but there are certainly periods in this market where you are upside down 30%. You've lost 30% of your money, 35% of your money, and you're sitting here thinking, man, this just didn't pan out the way I expected it to. I really thought we were just going to go to the moon and this was going to be easy, free money, but that's not really how it works here. A lot of times when these exciting times happen, people buy these tops after the price has already risen 300%. All the people who bought during the very despair and sad and boring and scary, horrible, terrible times are the ones who get to reap the benefits of the price going up. Then when you come in and you try to buy the price after it's already done that 300% rise, expecting it to continue doing that 300% rise, sometimes it doesn't really pan out that way. I do expect that we're still very early, being in the 60s. We're still super early. I think these prices are absolutely going to go to above $10. The thing is, are we going to go into 40s first? Are we going to lose 33, 35% of the price right now, and you're going to go upside down if you're buying right now? I don't have that answer for you. Do I think it's probable? Yeah, I think it's probable that we probably will come back down and test this level. But if you have a longer term view and you can just kind of step away from it and you don't stare at this every day and you don't feel the extreme pain of a 30% loss, well, hey, whatever. But history shows people do care. So we'll sit back, we'll wait, and we'll see how the XRP price plays out. Right now, we just don't have a way to know. I could sit here, and here's one thing I was doing. Looking over here at so if I was going to be just completely technical and do this in a technical way, you guys have all seen me do the 702 Fibonacci retracement. Doesn't matter if it's the 618 or if it's the 786. A lot of the new people are saying, what are you talking about? 702, 618, 786. A Fibonacci retracement usually tells us when we're going to make another move. So we can overlay this and see percentages. We've had a big move down off the top. Typically, we see usually a move back up to either the 618 or the 786, or sometimes the 702. So 70% retracement of the market, and you get your A, B, and then you pull all the way down for your C leg. The problem with doing something like this is we're using the Coinbase chart, and Coinbase went up to 92 cents. If we look over here on the Bitstamp chart, you can see that the price only went to 79 cents. That's a huge difference. That's 13 cents of difference. So doing that type of analysis on these charts, which one is right? Good luck figuring that out. I don't have that answer for you. So doing the ABC structures on there, where you have something like this, A, B, C, you can't do it. So I have to revert back to what I know. And what I know is, this looks very similar to what we've did in the past, or to what we've done in the past back in 2017. The whole setup all along the way has been identical. And the thing that we did is we came back and we tested the support level. And that would make a lot of sense to me to come back and test a support level after rising 300%. So 300% green candles are fun, but most likely some type of pullback. And if that hurts you to see the 40s, just remember, we're not even in the 30s. We're not even at the 30.5, which we were excited about just 5 days ago. 5 days ago, we were like, come on, 30.5. We're doing a live stream, right? We're all like, yay, the weekly candle breaking up, all that stuff that was less than a week ago. A pull back into the 40s, we had a nice, consider this just to be a massive breakout with a back test. And that's exciting if it does end up having this pullback to the support level like we did see in 2017. So I'd be fine with it. That's what my expectations are. If it continues breaking to the upside, well, we'll review it from there too. But for all of those who bought into the fear time period, you're sitting really, really pretty. I'm right there with you. It feels great. As for Bitcoin, this is where things start really getting interesting, right? So we're looking at Bitcoin. It's $19,460. We're only a couple of $100 away from setting a new all-time high. Will that happen today? We're all going to find out. There's different scenarios we've been looking at on this channel, whether or not Bitcoin is just going to break out and moon straight to 80,000, or if we're going to see something similar to what we saw in 2017, where it's more of just kind of a grind out over here, where the altcoins really get an opportunity to fire off and have their own alt season as Bitcoin is crossing through the all-time high or consolidating near the all-time high. For me personally, it doesn't have to be that Bitcoin breaks above the all-time high, but at least bullish consolidation up in this region right over here. But the big question is, will Bitcoin just break out and go flying and get up into the 50s, 60s, 70s, leaving the altcoins behind, or will alt season happen right now? We've seen a lot of action over there in the altcoins. It's looking really optimistic over there on the altcoins, and it's looking very similar to what we saw in 2017, where there were two separate alt seasons, one in March and one in November, December, and January. So we're looking pretty good that we're going to be having two alt seasons. That answer will come very clear to us once those altcoins start reaching out to their extensions, setting new highs, and we see where Bitcoin is at that time. Right now, I'm sitting primarily in the altcoins. Most of my portfolio is in the altcoins, a significant most. So we're not talking like, 55% altcoins, 45% Bitcoin. No, it's heavily leaning over on the altcoins, but I do own some Bitcoin. So my Bitcoin ownings that I do have are really just in case that scenario does happen where Bitcoin does break out much higher, leaving the altcoins behind. I will sell off my Bitcoin at higher prices to buy the altcoins to ride an end of cycle alt season. I outline all of that on bcbacker.com, and I've talked about that several times on my channel, but I do own some Bitcoin, not for the percentage gains, because I don't think there is much percentage opportunity in there, maybe 300%. We saw XRP gain 300% in a week, but I do it just in case of the scenario where Bitcoin takes off way before the altcoins do. So right now, it's a big moment for all of us. We're going to watch and see if Bitcoin is going to have some type of rejection here off the all-time high like we saw back in 2017 with some consolidation, or if we see a scenario where we just have a complete breakout, ripping and roaring moment for Bitcoin, taking it all the way up to near $80,000. So big, exciting times in crypto right now as we're getting much closer to 19,500. The all-time high on the Bitstamp chart comes in hot at 19,670. So we're less than $200 away from an all-time high. So as you can see here, one thing to keep in mind, right? So if we do get those new headlines, right, and we do see that all over Twitter, right? One thing to keep in mind is, oh my gosh, Bitcoin's broken out into a new all-time high. How exciting. Can you believe it? It's a new all-time high. Oh my gosh. Remember what happened in 2017. It barely broke out into a new all-time high, then it flipped back down on itself. Okay, so we've seen that before. Just keep that in mind, that just because we touched above the all-time high doesn't mean it just fired off into outer space. It could consolidate in that region, and that's what we're looking for right now. Whether or not Bitcoin's going to consolidate in this region and allow the altcoins to really rock, or is Bitcoin going to go flying? So if I had to make my guess on what I think the market will look like, or what Bitcoin will look like once it does get above its all-time high, is if you've been with the channel, I've shown you guys this double tap thing, right? And it's where my expectations for Bitcoin is that it's actually going to reach all the way out to about $80,000, somewhere between $70,000 and $80,000. And whenever you get above the all-time high, you do something called I just call it a double tap. I have no idea if there's a real term for it. I've never seen it anywhere before, but where you just kind of get a double tap right here on top. We're seeing that with gold right now as well. Gold came in and set a new all-time high, and you can see how it's pulling back in right here. I'm expecting gold to do something similar as well, and it's coming back and kind of touching this level, the area that was the retracement before the market really broke down on itself. So, gold went on a nice little bubble. Let's take it off the log scale. You can see it went on a bubble. It had its initial crash, it's a retrace, and then it's a really big crash. And then now it comes back and it sets a new all-time high. I believe it's doing a double tap up here, but it comes back and it tests this level that was the original retrace from when the bubble originally crashed, which would mean with Bitcoin, and let me take all this off the screen here, is that you'd see something like a little bit of a breakout of a new high, then a back test down to this level again. So we kind of put a line right there, and then you see a double tap up here on top of here before this market really starts rocking and rolling. So that's what I'm looking for. I mean, that's just kind of a guess, right? But I'm just kind of sharing you guys my experience of looking at a ton of charts, what I usually see, and that there's various situations, and in the end, we're subject to the market and whatever the market's going to do. Is it going to do what it did in 2017? Is it going to do what it did in 2013? Or are we going to see just a standard technical structure where you get a double tap back up here, like we've seen in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, like we're seeing over there in gold, or in situations like in 2017 where you do still have that come back and test it, right? See, I'll put that right there. So this was your retrace, right? So the initial market crash of 2013 with its big retrace and then continuation of the crash. Notice that Bitcoin came up and broke into a new all-time high and then came back down to test this level again. If you do weekly candle closes, see, there you go. So you do get that pull back down into that level. Will we get that? We'll all find out. But I'm just a spectator over here, just like the rest of you guys. And well, it's been an amazing ride to get where we're at right now, and I look forward to seeing what it's going to do in the coming weeks. And as XRP tries to figure out which direction it's going to go in next, just remember there's two big fat green weekly candles over there, and just breathe the sigh of relief. And a lot of times we talk about remaining in gratitude. I talk about how grateful I am for my YouTube channel, all of your support. You guys are so kind to me. The comments that you guys have been leaving me lately have been insanely kind, and they make me feel very good, and I'm very grateful for that. And just remember, when you say, ooh, I don't want to see the price go back down into the 40s, to just try to kind of remain in gratitude that we're not in the 20s anymore, right? If it goes into the 40s, it's okay. You're still up 100% from what you were 2 weeks ago. It's just an exciting time. And I'm really, really grateful that we're up in the prices that we're at, and we don't have to sit here and really live in that world of fear in those 20s anymore, because there was a lot of it down there. And the people who survive that, you're a breed of your own now. You are trained, you are strong, and you have the best chances to make the most percentages in this market. This market's going to grow like crazy. There's going to be a lot of people who come into this market and they will never be able to pull the percentages out of this market the way you can with where your entries are at. So congratulations. But all right, that's going to go ahead and wrap this one up. If you want to check out my website, you can over here at bcbacker.com. I have 19 videos with 4.5 hours of content where I deep dive into the previous Bitcoin bull runs, the altcoin seasons, how they've all worked together, the timing of when they've happened, when they swap, and all that good stuff. Of course, I talk about forecasting my targets. I talk about my exit plans and my strategies. I talk about a lot of the pitfalls in the cryptocurrency market when it comes to chasing things and how percentages truly matter and rebalancing. And really, one of the most important things I think a lot of people will tell you is managing your emotions, because your emotions are usually going to lead you in the wrong direction, whether that's to buy during excitement or to sell during fear. So check this out over here on bcbacker.com. Of course, follow me over here on Twitter at bcbacker. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching my channel. I hope that you guys are having a good week. Some of you guys may be getting ready to go traveling. You already are traveling because it's Thanksgiving time here in the United States, and it's a time to remain in gratitude, right? To be thankful. So how appropriate. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified of when I create new content and when I go live. As always, this is not investment advice and I am not a financial advisor. But if you ever need a pick-me-up or a little bit of reassurance, just remember that the blockchain backers got your back. Have a good one.